Ladies and gentlemen, success, for most people, is wrapped in mystery. Some think it's luck, and others think it's reserved for the few, those born into the right families, the right opportunities, or the right talents. But I'm here to tell you something that will change your life if you let it. Success is not an accident. Success is a science. Just like gravity pulls an apple to the ground, there are laws of success that pull achievement into your life when you align with them. And the best part, these laws don't care about your background, your past failures, or even your current circumstances. They only care about whether or not you follow them. Think about it. If you drop an object, gravity will always pull it down. It doesn't say, well, you were poor last year, and so I'll hold off. It doesn't say, you're not the right age, so the law doesn't apply to you. No. Gravity works for everyone, everywhere, every time, and success works the same way. Let me walk you through this science, 10 principles that form the foundation of success and achievement. The first law is clarity of purpose. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Imagine walking through a dense fog. You can see only a few feet ahead, and every step feels uncertain. That's how most people live their lives, wandering in a fog of vague desires, wishing for a better future, but not knowing precisely what that future looks like. I remember early in my career, I was struggling. I worked odd jobs, sometimes washing dishes, sometimes doing manual labor. I was always tired, always broke, and always uncertain. One day, I asked a wealthy man, "What is the secret of success?" He looked me in the eye and said, "Decide what you want, exactly what you want, and write it down." It sounded too simple, almost foolish, but I tried it. I wrote down one clear, specific goal. That moment changed the trajectory of my life forever. When you gain clarity, your mind becomes like a laser beam. Energy that was once scattered suddenly aligns. You begin to notice opportunities, resources, and people that were invisible before. Clarity transforms confusion into direction. The second law is belief and self-image. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." That's not just a clever phrase. It's a scientific truth. You act in a way that's consistent with your self-image. If you see yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving of success, you'll take bold actions. If you see yourself as limited, unlucky, or unworthy, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself. I used to think I wasn't smart enough. In school, I struggled, and teachers often overlooked me. But when I began reading books on success and psychology, I discovered that intelligence is not fixed. Belief is the spark that ignites potential. When I changed the way I thought about myself, everything in my life began to change. You must guard your mind. Feed it with empowering thoughts, affirmations, and images of success. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. The third law is goal setting as a scientific formula. People who write down their goals are 10 times more likely to achieve them than people who don't. That's not motivational hype. It's data backed by decades of research. Think of a goal as a blueprint. If you're building a house, and would you show up with no plan, no measurements, and no materials? Of course not. Yet many people approach life this way. They wake up, drift through the day, and hope things will work out. That's not science, that's gambling. Write down your goals. Make them specific, measurable, and time-bound. Review them daily. Every time you do, you activate your subconscious mind to work on them 24/7. Ideas will come to you in the shower, solutions will appear while you're driving, and people will show up unexpectedly to help. This isn't magic, it's focus in action. The fourth law is discipline and habits. Success is rarely the result of one giant leap. Instead, it's the result of small steps, repeated consistently over time. Consider the power of compound interest. $1 invested today may not seem like much, but over years of consistent investment, it grows into something massive. The same applies to habits. Reading 30 minutes a day doesn't seem life-changing, but do it every day for a year, and you've read more than 20 books. That knowledge compounds into insight, which compounds into action, which compounds into results. Discipline is doing what you need to do, whether you feel like it or not. Every time you act with discipline, you strengthen your self-control muscle. And the stronger that muscle becomes, the more unstoppable you are. The fifth law is focus and concentration. The greatest waste of human potential is distraction. In a world filled with endless notifications, temptations, and interruptions, the ability to focus is a superpower. Imagine sunlight passing through a magnifying glass. When scattered, it warms the paper. But when focused, it burns a hole straight through it. That's the difference between average people and extraordinary achievers. Focus. When I began writing my first book, it was daunting. The task seemed overwhelming. But I committed to writing 1 page a day, without fail. That focus created momentum, and eventually, that book changed my career. Success doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the few things that matter most, consistently. The sixth law is continuous learning and adaptation. The world is changing faster than ever. Skills become outdated, industries evolve, and technology reshapes entire careers. The people who succeed are not the ones who know everything. They're the ones who are always learning. Commit yourself to lifelong learning. Read, attend seminars, listen to audiobooks, seek mentors. Every new piece of knowledge expands your ability to solve problems and create opportunities. Remember, the more you learn, the more you earn. The seventh law is resilience and failure. Too many people see failure as the opposite of success. It's not. Failure is part of success. Show me a successful person, and I'll show you someone who has failed more times than most people ever tried. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Every failure is feedback. It's data. It's a stepping stone toward mastery. I once invested time and money in a business venture that collapsed. At first, I felt devastated. But looking back, that failure taught me lessons I never could have learned in a classroom. It gave me resilience, sharpened my instincts, and prepared me for greater opportunities. Remember this: every setback contains the seed of an equal or greater benefit. The eighth law is the power of action. Ideas are worthless without execution. Dreaming is easy, planning is easy, but action is hard. And that's why so few people achieve extraordinary success. I learned this the hard way. Early in my career, I had notebooks full of ideas, but no results. Then a mentor told me, "You don't get paid for ideas, you get paid for results." That struck me like lightning. From that day forward, I focused less on thinking and more on doing. Take action, even if it's imperfect. You can correct course while moving, but you can't steer a parked car. The ninth law is contribution and legacy. True success isn't measured by money or fame. It's measured by the value you bring to others. Think of the most successful people in history, and they are remembered not for what they took, but for what they gave. They solved problems, created opportunities, and made life better for millions. When you focus on contribution, you tap into a higher source of motivation. Your work becomes meaningful. You stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" And that shift creates a legacy that outlives you. So let me leave you with this. Success is a science. If you align your life with these laws: clarity, belief, goals, discipline, focus, learning, resilience, action, and contribution, you cannot fail. It may take time. It may require effort. But the outcome is inevitable. The question is, will you follow the science? Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Picture the life you could be living if you fully applied these principles. Imagine waking up with energy, working with purpose, enjoying financial freedom, contributing to others, and leaving a legacy your family will be proud of. That life is waiting for you. But it won't come by chance. It won't come by wishing. It will only come when you decide, right now, and to take responsibility for your future and follow the science of success. So my challenge to you today is simply commit. Commit to one change, one habit, one action you will take starting now. Then build upon it day after day. Because the science is proven, success is predictable, and achievement is yours for the taking. Thank you.